Driving Business.
Good evening. Thank you so much for keeping it on Smart 24 TV. My name is Noah Opera, and this is the economic agenda. We've had an extension because of a special program, and that is the National Population and Housing Census. With me, I have our wonderful guest. We've had her before, but before that, the time check is about 11 minutes past 8. And today is the 15th of May 2024. We are live as we get to discuss what is happening out there. And of course, if you have not been counted, you will get to understand and know that actually there's still time for you to be counted. And if you've already been counted, I hope you've had, you have served, you have welcomed our enumerators warmly, which is one thing that actually we emphasized a few days ago when Madame Helen was here. I still call you Madame Helen. But anyways, before I've already let the bird out of the basket, let me let my guest introduce herself once more and also say a word of hello before we continue.
Thank you very much, our moderator. Good evening, our viewers, our listeners. This is Helen Namirembe. Once again, I am from Uganda Bureau of Statistics, and I'm here to talk about the census progress.
Thank you very much. And Helen is the Director of Population and Social Statistics.
Yes.
Right. That title, I had to take some days to make sure that I master it. Welcome once again, and thank you so much for joining us today as we get to talk to our viewers and fellow Ugandans out there. Some who still have questions regarding a number of other things. One thing I'll tell you is that, yes, the census is still on. Madam Helen is going to give us updates on all that is happening out there. And some of the things that you may need to know. Those who are wondering, I'm giving these people information. Today I met a young lady who was proudly telling me, I have refused to tell them my clan. And I'm like, you need to tell them your clan. Why? Because people need to know in your tribe how many clans you have, and each clan, how many people do they have. Because I think sometimes young people don't understand that some of these things also help in planning for tribes. Now, like in my tribe, I'm a Munyole, yes, and we have so many clans.
Yes.
It's good to know because we have a cultural leader, and these cultural leaders represent different clans. Yes. So, anyways, Madam Helen, we will need to start with what is the update so far from the field of the population census?
Thank you very much, our moderator. We are in the field, and data is coming in. We have seen it, and we have downloaded it, we have used it, and the progress is a bit slow, but we are moving on. If you look at the results from the various districts, you find that it is different. It varies if you do a spatial analysis. And not to point out the districts in terms of performance, because you factor in other parameters.
Yes.
There were some considerable delays in some areas, and whereby some districts, like there's one which had about 1,200 enumerators, and about half of them, less than half of them had taken some 2 days because of the issues of logins. And so that impacts on the progress.
Yes.
And when you are assessing this progress and trying to compare across the board, then you have done a disservice. You can't take them at the same level. Yeah. So we have to really add in a lot, and I presume by Friday we'll have a very good picture. Because even though there are some areas which we know where the household size is large, I may have covered 20 households, but I have less population.
Yes.
Another person has covered 13, but has more population. But if you're counting in terms of number of households, then you look at me as a poor performer, yet the other one
is actually in an area
that, yes. But of course, the structure of the population in that area favors him that the household sizes are small. So you put into so many factors interplay. Others travel long distances in Kampala or in other urban areas. The households are together, so you spend less time. And even the household size in some areas is small, especially in the cities. You find that you cover less. I mean, you cover more in a shorter time. Then when you go to the cattle corridors, you even need a bicycle to get to the next household. Okay. But all in all, we are not doing badly, but we are not doing also not so well. Yes.
The curiosity is almost like national elections. How you have to begin imagining, okay, how many votes have they counted so far? Who is leading? But in this case, it's not about who is leading.
No.
In this case, it's about how much work has been done so far.
Yes.
Today, we are focusing on data, mainly.
Yes.
Data security, and also the issue of digitization. Because I think you both chose to go modern, which is a good thing.
Yes.
Now, we would like to know how has the digitization been very helpful? What has changed with the digitization that is different from what has been happening? How is it helping so far with the process?
Well, the digitization is very good. It begins all with the recruitment process, the training. Everyone was supposed to apply online. During the training, we had, much as we have printed the tools, when you're training, you need the materials with you, but also we had it stored on the tablet.
Okay.
And then we link the questions, like if you're filling a form, like you're applying for a passport, and where they say date of birth or place of birth, you are not so sure, there is an icon. When you click on it, it gives you the narrative of what is required. So we also hyperlink the manual of instructions, the guidelines, the concepts, the definitions, such that it's easier to navigate.
Okay.
If you're stuck in the field, what does this one mean? I am stuck. Then you quickly, other than perusing through the hard copies. So when we also trained, we had other digital devices. We had, applications. We had a catalog of all those photographs, and we had videos. So they really helped. So also, even when we are marking, it's digital. We give exercises and you get feedback as digital. So that was one of them. But what the improvements, we see them when we are, because any data collection exercise, especially the census, a large one, you have what we call the content and coverage errors. The content errors is like, for instance, I will tell you that I am a manager of my company, yet you are 12 years or 11 years. Yes, it can be possible. Your father or your mother
left an establishment.
Even though she's still alive, she has an establishment, but recognizes you as the manager because you are. But ideally, when you really get into the definition, this person must be working and you are there full time. So you find that 11 years as a manager, this can't be. Or you are a graduate and you have done a master's degree at 11 years.
At 11 years.
Even university.
In some special cases, it's happening though.
So these errors you can record. It's easier with a pen and pencil. But with the digital tools, you don't tighten so much. We do tighten. Age and date of birth have to be consistent, never to be left blank. This one we tighten. The copy, the so-called copy, you can't proceed with other questions. It has to balance. and you can't leave it blank. Which means the data quality will not have gaps for some variables like those ones on age.
The major
which
ones
are really core, that is the heart of the census.
Before they are, if they are not filled, the form can't be accepted.
You will sit there like a cabbage and you have to continue with your work. You can't proceed. So there are some rules, and the skip patterns are is easier. Like if you are now asking questions on reproductive health, fertility behavior, you don't interview the males. So the CAPI has that knowledge because we have programmed it. If a person's sex is 2 and of this age, you don't administer. It will just take you to where you're supposed to be.
Where you're supposed to be.
You take less time. Then the other issues are, so you have this inbuilt checks. So when you talk about quality, quality has various dimensions. And one of them also is timeliness. So as we are seated here, we have done some analytical work.
Yes.
Yes, much as it's partial.
You have a picture of what you're expecting.
Yes, of what is coming out.
Okay.
Of course, we'll release it at the time it's supposed to be.
The journalist in me feels like asking you how many people do we have so far. No, but I won't ask.
That one I'm not supposed to.
You're not supposed to say that.
Whether you like it or not. So, but I can tell where some of the challenges are. And we'll have a Zoom meeting. And we'll communicate the things. This is the power of technology. Yeah, this is really the power.
The part of, before I ask more about the tools, how effectively are you communicating with the enumerators?
The enumerators?
Is UBOS headquarters available? Can the enumerators, can they communicate effectively and timely with the team?
We have decentralized this function.
Okay.
Because the team is big. Even if you were to have let me say 1,000, 2,000 people online, yes, you read the messages, there will be many. But there comes a time when you have to kind of break the team into groups.
Yes.
So at district level, at lower levels, they have their WhatsApp groups. And they communicate.
And their leadership.
So within the leadership, for us, we have the leadership at the district level. Any communication will quickly get through. Yes. And they do receive the information. So even then they can go lower and communicate with the other groups.
The reason why I wanted to bring that is because I'm trying to help the public understand the commitment of UBOS in making sure that the enumerators have been attended to. Of course, there are different stories that are happening on social media, and they kind of reflect like the enumerators have been neglected. They are not attended to, they are not supported. But now, clear, it means that UBOS has brought the leadership to district level, and these enumerators are able to communicate and report some of the challenges they are going through, which means they are protected.
And also, they have been like my phone out there, and another colleague of mine called Mr. Mwong there. They're already on some of the publications. We receive calls from all over the country.
Okay.
Even enumerators, even district leaders, where there are challenges. But now at least the number of calls has gone down. They have become more resilient and can manage. Yeah.
So what are some of these tools, if I may ask? What are some of these particular tools that you are using? Are they given tablet like mine here? Are they using phones? Are they using what?
Or for purposes of
data collection.
The data collection, we call them tablets or electronic devices.
Okay.
Yes, and that's what they are using for data collection. Yes.
Thank you very much. You know, one thing is, I think what I'm getting to learn from this time census is that there's something that's called a Google form.
Yes.
And when you're entering data in the Google form, there are those questions that have a star of red. It means you can't leave it unattended to. So I think to bring to people out there, it means that the enumerators it means they cannot avoid the major things. So no cheating. In other words, what the work they have been recruited to do, it means that UBOS is making sure that that work is effectively done. Madam Helen, I would like to know about how the issues of the areas that don't have network, how are enumerators dealing with those situations?
The situation is that they have hotspots and the supervisors have been facilitated.
Okay.
So data comes in late, at times once in a day. We have recommended all the others that whenever you are done with the household and you have done the enumeration, as you're winding up, once you finish, you remit data.
Okay.
Yes, you synchronize and we'll get the data.
And you get the data.
So for these ones, they are working with their supervisors who are helping in terms of getting the data to the server. To the server. Yes, but the hotspots are there. The problem is the long distances, but the supervisors are managing. Because at enumerator level, you have the next tier upwards of supervision. We call them enumerator supervisors or parish supervisors. So they are assigned a team, and that's how they are managing. Yes. You have really decentralized the program, and we are hoping for good things to come from this. There's a way some of the people that watch this show, I will say in Uganda, besunga data agenda okuvayo, especially people in different sectors of planning and people who are involved in development programs, community, national, and all that. There's a way they are eager to see what is coming out from there. So we are also making sure that we support you, boss, to make sure that at the end of the day, Uganda is moving forward. I think we have about a few minutes to go into our short commercial break. But one of the things that I would like to know, I think I would like us to explain to people, maybe when we talk about digitization, they don't really get to understand what digitization is. I don't know if that's something that you would like to highlight on to people who may not understand what digitization is. Well, I can explain this in the context of what we are doing. Originally, we would have papers and questionnaires, everything printed on paper. But that last census, we did the scanning technology, what we call, that is IMR, Intelligent Mark, is it OCR, I have forgotten. But where it can recognize this is a 2, this is a 3, the machine. And at the end of that day, it took us time to key in this information. And where you had the description, then we had coders who would finish the coding, and data processing took some time. But today, you have everything on the electronic device. Wow. Yes, the questionnaire comes with the accompanying code list. And then if it is a long list, like for occupation and activity status, it will give you a chance to have a drop-down list. And then you select which is relevant. As you're typing, then it gives you a drop-down and you get the relevant. It is sorting there and then it gives you. Yes. Then after that, you are able to, but maybe before even you start the interview, in some areas we already have these maps. Not all areas we are able to have what we call TPK maps. They are interactive maps. We have listed the household during mapping, and we have taken the geographical positionings of the household. That is also the beginning of the IT technology. Yes, so we have an aerial photograph of the image, which is digitized. Yes. So as we are working, these images have a mark. If it is, if you have not yet started interviewing, you have to reach there. You click on it. Once you click on it, then it opens the application. That is CS entry. And once you are done, and you submit, then it shows it's green, that this area is covered. So you are monitoring on your map, on the tablet, an area, and you are seeing progress as you're moving.
Wow.
So some areas have that, others were not able to have that done, especially in Greater Kampala, because the listing, we started late and we couldn't finish the maps because these are done in the office.
So how is that going to be? Isn't that going to affect the process, the activity? I mean the program?
No, that doesn't, because each enumerator is supposed to write on the door with chalk.
Ah, yes, I remember
so
that.
If a structure, if it is a Muzigo, for instance, so if they are rented apartments and the person who was there during mapping has left,
you come and
you come and we sign and we say this is a PHC, NPHC 2024 stroke HN stroke 122, that's household 122 stroke vacant.
Done.
So it is vacant. I've reached there is nobody. The person left.
So it means it means that someone has to. You have to come back to that house. If
you stroke, the last stroke means the result, the interview result.
Okay.
So whether it's vacant, whether it's not, if it's not completed, and you have partial, like the head of household is not there, your wife is not there, the children don't know whatever the education, and there are certain parameters they can't answer. So you have that. The record is partially done. You can have a partial save, and when you go back at the appropriate time, then you can retrieve the record. This is how good it is. Wow. And then you fill all the information and you go. So once you have done all this and in the questionnaire is complete, then you stroke and you put an E at the end, that this household has been enumerated. That's what it means.
Well, to whoever is watching today, you get to understand exactly how and why. Some people will see you coming with a tablet like, why is he carrying that thing? Why is he coming with this one? Is he going to take us photos and all that? And in the villages, they will begin telling you, have come to sell us. So the reason people come with some of these things, it's because the census this time has been digitized. The other language they call these things is that they call them PDAs, personal digital assistant. Yes. So you have a PDA in your hand, a personal digital assistant, and these are now the ones. We are no longer in the generation of carrying heaps of papers. I don't know how those people used to do census by then. You carry heaps of papers and you go to someone's home. So it's no longer papers. It's one single device in someone's hand, and it's going to collect the data he wants and moves on. We'll go into a short commercial break. When we return, we'll get into more conversation on data security in the national population and housing census. Stay tuned. This is Smart 24 TV. My name is Noah Pera. We'll return.
Smart 24, driving business.
Morning time wao mwami wange nangamba yesterday bamukubideko essimu aba MTN nga bamugamba nti awangudde ssente school fees owa Andrew. In fact tuli awo nga tukyabuusabuusa naye nzikiriza mazima nga maze kulabako ate at the first nalinga ndowooza oba MTN balina ebintu byabwe bapanga nga sirabako ku neighbor wange nga bamukubidde kasimu. Twebaza abe MTN bannange okutuddizaawo bannaayo okuddiza guba mwoyo. Tweyanziza tweyanzeege omuzadde yenna ali eyo bannange ebintu bya ddala togaana kukikola kozesa MTN okusasula school fees w'omwana wo ng'onyiga star 165 star 80 ash banaye bya ddala si bya kyayi.
Together, we're unstoppable.
Crazy guy. I'm going to go crazy. Flavors of Africa.
Enjoy your favorite shows anywhere. Download DSTV Stream today.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda, the taste of Uganda, yeah,
Luxury redefined at Census Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full-course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at Census Hotel. So visit today at plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. Census Hotels, luxury redefined.
The National Population and Housing Census 2024 is here. Uganda is to conduct the Census 2024 this May to update our population status that will support government to plan for every citizen. The numeration team is in the field to respond to all the necessary interests by you and me as they register all of us. Note that the Census night is 9th May 2024. Let us all be part of this exercise by working with the numerators, provide correct data and information. This exercise is to assist the government in planning government resources properly, provide efficient service delivery, and the formulation of national policies. The numeration will start on the 10th to 19th, 2024, and the counting will be done at our homes or places of residence. The Census 2024, it matters to be counted. This message is brought to you by Dr. Chris Mukiza, the Executive Director, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, and the Government of Uganda.
Smart 24, driving business.
And yes, we are back. Thank you so much for staying tuned on Smart 24 TV, your #1 business TV. Only business TV that we know in Uganda, unless another one comes out tomorrow. My name is Noah Opera, and we have Helen Namirembe Mviri, the Director of Population and Social Statistics at Uganda Bureau of Statistics. And we are discussing why it matters to be counted and the national population and housing census is happening. Started on 9th, 10th.
We started on 10th.
It started on 10th, and it's going to be ending on 19th. 19th, yes. So we have it's so far 6 days into the 6 days so far into the program. We have more 4 days to go, and we shall be waiting for you boss to give us the announcement of how many Ugandans we have in this wonderful country. But also not only that, like we said before, the reason why it's the national population and housing census, Madam Helen here told us the other day that the reason for housing is because the government is not only looking for the numbers of Ugandans, but also assessing the welfare, the standard of living of Ugandans in the different areas. That's why housing is part of the statement and the program. We just got to discuss digitization and how it has been very effective in making sure that this program is simplified. Now, one of the things that challenge in digitization, Madam Helen, for what we know is that digitization also has its own challenges, especially in terms of protecting data. There are problems of people hacking into those programs, and they steal the data, and also there are concerns of privacy. So we would like to know, as you boss, what measures have been taken to make sure that the data that is being collected is secure enough, and what assurance in lines of privacy.
Thank you very much. Now, when we have these electronic devices or the copies, we have a SIM card, a slot for a SIM card. And we have two service providers. Of course, we have MTN and Airtel. Now, this SIM card can only be used by the two agencies.
Yes.
What we call the APN, the access point name. This means the service provider gives you the details of what your tool needs, what you need to know about this, and it's like two-way traffic. You can never use it for any other thing.
Okay.
You can't use it. You can use it to call, I understand, but you can never use it for accessing the internet for data. You can never. So it can only be used by the service provider, if it's Airtel or it's MTN, and you boss. You change the gadget and put it in another one, it will not work.
It will not work.
So that is secure, to ensure that nobody. It's not like when you use any gadget to access the internet.
Okay.
Here it is through that system. So wherever you are in the field and you access network, we have paid for that service. It will just connect and send the data to the server.
Okay.
So our servers are secure. There is limited, actually, I don't know whether it's even 1 or 2 people, limited or no connection. We can't access, not anyone in the bureau.
Yes.
So it has limited access or even no access. I must say that. Then the other third one is when our law is very clear. Even enumerators swear an oath of secrecy. When I leave your households, I'm not supposed to come back home and say, hey, my dear, that gentleman, the way he's still young, he has so many children. Father given son outside wedlock. He has 2 wives. They're all in the house. So I even tell them your names. That is contravening the law.
Yes.
So not only that, so that is even after collection, because it is still data. I still have it in my head. I have memorized certain things. When we are giving out the data, after doing all the analysis, the users will come to us. We have to prepare what we call a public user data file.
Okay.
And this public user data file will have anonymized records. No name. You will not be able to have those GPSs we collect. We can't issue. We can't.
Okay.
Yeah. So not only that, even giving the detail up to village level. This household is within this village, this parish. So we anonymize the records such that you can't trace, you can't track a record, and we don't give out names. So you will just see data for household number 1, number 2, number 3, and that's it. But you know that it is applying to, this data applies to this district.
The other thing I would ask, you have explained how you have cut off third-party people who can easily access this information through any other network that can be tapped into the gadgets that you're using and maybe access your server. The enumerators, once they have submitted the forms, do they have access to those forms again?
No, you can't.
You can't.
Except where what we have is that it is only the forms which are incomplete. Yes. So the forms which are incomplete, because they have to go back and complete that record. We keep a record on the server. Yeah, for security purposes. We have lost lives of some of our enumerators, and their souls rest in eternal peace. So at the end of the day, even the gadgets were lost. Now, so the gadgets were lost, but I don't want to go into the details because I don't have the information. If they were synchronizing data, that's why we recommend whenever you're leaving the households and you're finished, you send.
Yes.
So you find that those records will be there. So once the copy is stolen, you will have it. But you can't use the SIM cards. You can't.
How many enumerators have been?
We have 3.
Who have been killed?
Yes.
What are the circumstances around it?
It's all security because the bags are labeled. It seems one was not well. We got information later that she applied. We didn't have their health records. I think she had a problem of sickle cells, and so field was hard on her. Then she passed on. Then the other ones were, it's like they wanted to take the copies and they were really mugged. So this one was just mugged. Yes. That's unfortunate. So those are the unfortunate cases. May that soul rest in eternal peace, and definitely they have to be remembered. They died in the line of duty, serving their country. Madam Helen, so sorry for the loss of your members. Still, the program as it goes on, I think you were explaining how it's impossible to retrieve forms that have been already forwarded to you, boss, which I think is key, because I mean someone may not be able to do it while the people who are being counted are there, but then it reaches somewhere and then retrieve this information. And possibly the other thing that I would like to know is these gadgets they're using, there's no provision of someone putting in any peripheral device and possibly copy something. There's no provision. Those devices, that's why when they were procured, we had to provision them. By provision them, you deactivate the other... The peripheral gadgets, the ports, USB ports and all that. All that. They were disabled. Yes, they were disabled. Wow. You really thought through this as you were starting. You thought through this, took a thorough study and made sure that this project data is very important to be protected. So the other thing is going to the public. How is the Uganda Bureau of Statistics addressing public concerns about data privacy? Because yes, we are here talking about it, but I know there may be people who are not watching this show. There might be someone in a park, there might be someone in Resori, there may be someone in different places where where they may not be watching TV. I mean, these places are now, the government has worked and made sure that network is there, but they may not be watching this program. How is UBOS making sure that these people are aware and their concerns are addressed regarding data protection? Well, regarding data protection, we have to do a lot, and the act is there. The regulations, we have them, and they are very simple and clear. But we have really not done so much to publicize them. But working with our key stakeholders, because it's not the first time we are conducting a census.
Yes, true.
It's not the first time we are doing or surveys or what. This has been the nature of our work, even during the colonial time. So we have knowledge of the law, and we know what to do. And in my life, in my time at the bureau, I've not heard of any cases, and I don't think I've never seen in the papers where people are complaining that you released our results to the public.
Yes,
you gave out yeah, because even we collect sensitive information. Yes, the census questions are simple. They are not really. We are not really asking those difficult questions to answer.
Yeah.
So it is only when we conduct the demographic and health survey that we ask these sensitive questions. But people do oblige. They give us the information. We even publish it. But of course, we don't give out the individual record. It has to be aggregated information. That one also we have always told them. But when we collect data, I want to mention one thing, that it's unethical. It's not the UN, unethical procedure. It's by way of procedure, you have to introduce yourself, and we read a consent statement before we begin the interview. You ask the person, I am going to interview you. I'm going to ask questions about your life, your health, your what, your economic. And this is going to take me like about 40 minutes and whatnot. So would you like me to start the interview? Can I go ahead and interview?
They get consent before.
We get that consent. It's part of our law. Yes. You have to prepare a consent, whatever survey. Even in this census there is a consent statement. Yes.
Because sikumugwira.
So at the end of that day, out there, because when you conduct a survey, not everyone has ever had chance, may not have had chance to be interviewed. But for the census they will. But also, since we have one respondent in the household who is giving responses for the others. So once he consents, then we take it that everyone in the household has consented. So the other people may not know, because they have not been exposed, they are not the ones responding. So we need to do a lot in terms of the publicity. But during data collection, we ask for their consent.
You ask for their consent.
Yes.
The public, the participation of the public, how is it? They so far are they welcoming? Are they participating positively? Are they taking this program very seriously as Ugandans?
Yes, with such a national exercise, of course, it's very difficult to please all Ugandans 100%.
True.
You will always have negativity, and it's how you manage that. Yes, we've had some pockets where there was resistance.
Yes.
We have some of the cults, we have some who don't believe in being counted, and that one was handled by the RDC. So, but even some homes where we get resistance, we have trained our enumerators to always get in touch with the supervisors. So the supervisors will come and talk to the heads of households, those who have the high-rise buildings, those who are in the gated communities who may not want to open for us. But there has been a lot of publicity on the radio, on the TV. The message which has been played over the radio by His Excellency and other eminent persons and key influential persons in society, so that people encouraging everyone.
Any challenges in reaching those far areas and marginalized communities? We are talking about people who are living in Rwenzori, in the mountains deep there,
where there was whatever overflow of the river.
How are you handling these challenges?
At the moment, you don't want to predispose or to you don't want to your enumerators to go in these areas. Of course, the district leadership hold meetings at those levels because each place is unique.
Yes.
Others are, it's a smooth flow, they don't have those challenges. But where they have, they really manage and do cover other areas. But where it needs combing, they will maybe deploy more staff so that these areas are covered. We have refugees also, they had to reach, there are special areas. We have worked with OPM to train people and they are being enumerated. Yes, even those asylum seekers who have, even in the settlement camps. So we are everywhere. The islanders, we worked with them. Even here in Wakiso, very close. Even Kampala has one island.
Which one is that?
You go to Munyonyo, there is Kabaka's Island. I know there are about 40 families. I don't know.
On that island?
There are some people living there.
Interesting.
So you will have to use the water transport.
It's called Kabaka's Island.
That's the name.
That's the name. Yes. They also have Kabaka's Lake. Now, I would like to know, as we summarize, some elaboration on the potential impact of this census on the different sectors, as health, education. Some elaboration to people in the remaining days, so that those who are still, making up their mind to understand that actually this program is meant to address a number of things. Madam Helen.
Thank you very much. I believe government, because we are all working for government, is going to be the biggest beneficiary. We've been cornered that we ask questions which are not addressing issues of the development frameworks. I've seen this in some social media. But what we did, all our data collection efforts, there is a reason why we have included those questions in the census, responding to the national needs and also the global agenda. So the demand is high. If you look at Ministry of Education, you cannot have a child sitting primary 7 without a birth certificate. We have asked children below 5 years whether they have. We ask for everyone who has a birth certificate, though the indicator is for those below 5. So you are able to know the level of service delivery. Even whether you have a national ID for those 16 and above. We know we are going into mass enrollment. Those are all indicators. Questions on reproductive health. We've asked lots of questions on food security. And being food secure doesn't mean that you have a farm, you have a backyard garden, but you may be living in a flat when you are food secure.
Yes.
You have the means to put a meal on the table. So there are also questions on, today we are looking at a detailed module on energy used for cooking. There are very strong correlations on energy use and poverty. And you look at also the environment. There is migration module and what are the push factors for these people leaving the country. Was it due to climatic conditions? There has been an outcry on how the Horn of Africa and Eastern Africa are suffering all these calamities and how people are always on the move. So disability is another area. Issues of mental health. Yes, mental health, stress. And the questionnaire is really rich.
It's rich.
So we have the community characteristics. We have asked about service delivery, whether people were able to benefit from the PDM fund and how they have accessed, whether they received funding. So there is really quite a lot. And we have information on agriculture, though it's not detailed, sufficient enough to guide us which households practice agriculture. When we are to conduct the census of agriculture in the few years to come, we'll be able to know that at least we'll have this kind of households and this is what their engaged in.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, in 1 minute, you could give your last remarks as we sum up with this.
Our viewers, our listeners, we are very grateful that you are participating in the census, but we have been receiving calls, we have been receiving messages. Some of our the public out there have not been enumerated. Enumeration is still ongoing up to the 19th of May.
Mm-hmm.
And for some areas that started like 2 days late or 3 days late, those days will, I don't want to call it an extension.
Mm-hmm.
For them, they will go beyond the 19th.
Okay.
So you find that we are there, and please, if you have not been enumerated, you have any issues, you have any challenges, kindly call the Bureau. And for those who have not been enumerated, you feel that time is running, others have been calling because they are going to travel out of the country. So you get in touch with your local council leader, and you will be able to get an enumerator so that they do give you that opportunity, and so that you are maybe enumerated in time so that you can be able to travel. But not only that, we encourage you, please, if you have not been enumerated, kindly get in touch with your local leadership so that we know who has not yet been served. We encourage all of you. It matters to be counted.
It matters to be counted, and that is a message from you, boss. Thank you very much, Madam Helen, for being part of our conversation today. And yes, time is about 1 minute past 9. This is Smart 24 TV, Driving Business. We have been discussing the national population and housing census. My name is Noah Wapera. Until next week, stay blessed and make sure you are counted, and welcome those enumerators because they are doing the work that is meant to serve Uganda better. Have a good night.